Good morning and welcome back to Flashback Friday here on Gaming with ADHD. It's been a little while since I've done one of these videos, but today I wanted to take a look back at the Battletech Technical Readout 3050. This was originally published in 1990 by FOSSA Corporation, FOSSA Games, whoever it was at the time. This basically represented the first major advancement to the Battletech storyline by moving beyond the Succession Wars era and into the clan invasion era. Because in this book, we actually see the first appearance of clan Battlemechs. Now, before we get started, do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I try to put out a few videos each week where, we talk about board games, miniatures, role-playing, anything in between, and I'd love for you to come along and see what we have to share. In addition, there are a couple of links down below, whether it's for our social media if you'd like to follow us there, or to affiliate links through like Amazon or DriveThruRPG. They do help out the channel if you are interested, but there's no obligation. Regardless, we're happy to have you here. So with that all out of the way, I do want to talk a little bit more about the book, because for me this is kind of, while Technical Readout 3025 is the more iconic book for me, it's the images that usually spring to mind when I think of Battletech. I also kind of gravitate towards 3050 because of the fact that represents my entry into the game. A story that I've told before is that when I first found out about Battletech, it was a couple of years before this came out. Some friends in junior high showed me the Battletech box. I thought it was super cool, and I never got to play it. Didn't really know anything about it. But then when I went to high school, I was introduced to it by some friends who, one of them actually sat down and taught me how to play. And he basically told me that because I was a new player, I had to play Inner Sphere mechs, and because he was a veteran, he got to play with clan mechs. And then we were playing based on tonnage. So what that means is if, however many mechs we're going to bring, you base it based on the tonnage of the mech. So you could, say we're going to play 200 tons. Well, you could bring 200 tons of the different mechs, anywhere from 20-ton mechs to 100-ton mechs, whatever it was. Well, the catch is that the clan technology is infinitely better than the Inner Sphere technology. And so basically I proceeded to get stomped game after game after game. But for some reason, I still absolutely loved the game and loved the story, loved the books. And so 3050 still kind of has that, sweet spot for me, because that's when I was introduced into the game. A lot of people talk about how they're 3025 purists, or they prefer the Ill Clan era, or whatever era it is. But for me, this is usually where I'll gravitate because of that. All right. Now, one other thing I will point out, if you'll notice on the graphic, I did say aliens in Battletech. Sort of an inside joke. If you've been around Battletech for a while, the reason I said that is because when the clans first appeared, they were using mech designs that nobody recognized. And so the computers were having trouble identifying them, which made them think that they were being attacked by aliens. So, no, there's still no aliens in Battletech. Far Country is disavowed, and, I make stupid jokes. Anyhow, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at this book. So, first off, we've got the cover here. This classic, Martian red Timberwolf, or Mad Cat. I still say Mad Cat. I try to say Timberwolf more often, but I say Mad Cat. But we've got this iconic Timberwolf on the cover. Clan Ghost Bear, which to me, I didn't realize that until relatively recently. Clan Ghost Bear was never featured very prominently in the fiction, but it was the clan for the Timberwolf on the cover of the Battletech Compendium, and then also Technical Readout 3050. So Ghost Bear got a lot of love, even if we didn't learn a lot about them. So, anyhow, as I said, originally published in 1990, it's done in the typical technical readout format. You're going to get an index list of all the different mechs sorted by weight. Also, keep in mind this is the early printing, meaning there are mechs in here that were subject to the unseen rule. So that's why you have 3050 revised, 3050 upgrade, things like that to to correct those issues. All right. And then for the art, we have Joel Bisk, Jim Nelson, Dana Knutson, and Steve Venters. You know, so all right, let's go through. All right. So in this case, the storyline is based on a Comstar technical readout. Basically, in response to the in response to these new mechs, these new tactics that are coming in, you get a lot of fiction to start off. Basically, talking about units that had been destroyed in the initial invasion, clan tactics, so the rivalry, the bidding, other non-military technology, the Omnimechs. Keep in mind, technically this is being written, I think, 3052. Yeah, 8th of February, 3052. So basically, they've compiled all of this information. They've been putting it all together, and so they're looking back at the 3050 era. We get our first look at the elemental battle suits. These are the infantry power armor. And then we go right into the Omnimechs. Now, these are the first iterations that we see. It's a much more blueprint style head-on. That's the only time that we really see it that way. Even with other technical readouts, it wasn't duplicated later on. So here we've got the Koshi or Firemoth. I'm really bad with both names, so I'm just going to be using the original. We've got the Uller, and basically they did one for each weight class. So 20, 25, 30, 35, all the way up to 100. So you get 16 different mechs. The Puma. So it's interesting. I like these representations. I like the way that you get a little bit more of a technical drawing, but I also like, but it does also make it a little bit more difficult to actually understand, to see the depth. Like the Puma, this is the one that has essentially the shot trap right up here, because you have this whole panel that comes out over the cockpit. Why they would design it that way, I have no idea, but it is what it is. The Dragonfly or Viper, that one I know. The Fenris, or I believe it's the Ice Ferret. I'm going to sound real dumb when you all come in the comments and be like, no, you got all of those wrong. We've got the Blackhawk. Oh, what is the black? The Nova. Yes, Nova. Come on, I can do that one. The Ryokan. Another thing that I thought was interesting is a lot of the names are kind of depend on, at least in the fiction, where they appeared. Like the Ryokan and the Daishi were primarily encountered in the Draconis Combine, so they got Japanese names. We've got the Vulture or Mad Dog, the Loki or Hellbringer, Thor or Summoner, Mad Cat or Timberwolf, The Man-O-War, honestly, my least favorite of the original art. The Masakari, or oh, I just played with one of these the other night, and now Warhawk. There we go. Gladiator and the Daishi or Direwolf. So, again, I love the style of art. Just because for a technical readout, it seems like a very technical drawing. But then again, you miss out on the fact that these are the rear canted chicken legs, things like that. But regardless, again, these are just some fun memories for me to go back. All right, we then get some more fiction, the Inner Sphere response. How did they react to these invaders from outside of the Inner Sphere? More art. And then we go into the Inner Sphere mechs of 3050 with the Flea, the Hornet. Now, these all come, or well, there's some new ones, but they also give you mechs from 2750, from 3025, and then they also give you different loadouts. So they are different variants, usually. Not always, but we got the Locust. They pulled this art over, I think. No, this is a much more cleaned up piece of art. Regardless, the Mercury. This one was in 2750 originally. The Stinger, one of the Unseen. The Wasp. Commando. Falcon, which doesn't look like a falcon to me. Firefly. So 3050 to me, it's definitely an upgrade. You get some better art. It's not perfect. There's still some goofy looking stuff, but it's not horrible. The Javelin and the Spider. Good old Urban Mech. Irby has been around forever. Had some fun discussions online about, why an urban mech? Why can't people just let it go? And I was, to me, I don't know what you'd replace it with. As far as like a mascot, something that's just fun, a little bit goofy, I really can't pick anything better than an urban mech. I'm not saying there isn't anything better, but I definitely like the new urban mech over the old one. We then have the Valkyrie, Firestarter, Jenner, Ost Scout, Panther, Raven, Wolfhound. Now this one is famous because that was the mech that Phelan Kell was piloting when he got captured by Clan Wolf. Alright, then our medium mechs, we've got the Assassin, the Cicada, the Clint, the Hermes 2, Sentinel, another 2750, the Vulcan, the Whitworth, the Blackjack, the Hatchet Man, Phoenix Hawk. I really like this rendition of the Phoenix Hawk. Looks a lot better than the 3025 version. Vindicator, Wolf Trap. I don't know why, but I just do not remember this one. Centurion or Yenlo Wang. The Crab. Enforcer, Hunchback, Trebuchet, Dervish. I know. This is super exciting. But I like looking through these. I remember that I would go, like, my freshman English class, we would have reading time, you know, and I would just bring in tech readouts and read the the background information on all the mechs. Eventually, the teacher's like, "No, read something else." The Hoplite, Kintaro, Scorpion, Shadowhawk, Wolverine. It's all of our mediums. The Grand Dragon, the Ostrock, the Ost Soul, Quick Draw, Rifleman, Axeman, Catapult, Crusader, Jaegermech, Thunderbolt, one of my favorites. I actually really, really like this design. The new one's good, but this style is kind of what's stuck in my head. The Archer almost looks like it was taken straight out of the Robotech role-playing game. Almost. The Caesar, the Cataphract, Grasshopper, Guillotine, good old Warhammer, Marauder, Orion, into our assault mechs, the Awesome, the Charger, Goliath. We have a guy in our group who only runs quads. He frustrates all of us. The Hatamoto Chi. I need to finish my version of this. That'll come soon. The Victor. The Zeus. Battlemaster. I absolutely love the Battlemaster. One of my favorites. The Katana or Crockett. The Shogun. The Stalker, also known as the Egg with Legs. Cyclops. Mauler. If you're a fan of the cartoon, you know. The Banshee. The Annihilator. First appearance in the Wolf's Dragoons scenario pack. And the Atlas. The Imp. And the Marauder 2. So, that's essentially it. Now, they do give you some additional rules. Okay? This is 3050. They've got clan tech. So, you get different new weapon systems. Extended range PPCs, lasers, pulse lasers, the ultra autocannons. So, you get to fire multiple shots. The LBX autocannons. So, you get to fire shotguns. The Gauss rifle, the different artillery systems, so the Arrow 4 artillery system, which can be carried by a mech, anti-missile systems, narc beacons, anti-personnel pods, C3 computers, targeting computers, double heat sinks, case, mask, ferrofibrous armor, triple strength miner. I mean, they give you a lot. This changed the game for some people. Me, this is what I came into the game with, so I generally don't usually get upset over it, but that's just me. But then you do get a clan equipment table, so all of your ranges, heat, things like that. for Clan and Inner Sphere. This is only the new equipment, so it's not a full list. Cost if you wanted to actually deal with like mercenary units and buying the stuff. Rules updates. This is also fun, so you do get some side shots. I forgot that they added these. But I don't understand it. So it's assault first, then light, then heavy, and then medium. I completely forgot about these. And I've had this book on my shelf for decades. I'm a bad Battletech fan. I'm sorry, everybody. All right. Then you do get some record sheets for the clan battle armor. A little bit of an ad for how to get more miniatures. And then an index. And that's it. Battletech. Technical Readout 3050, The Return of Kerensky. Honestly, this is one of my favorite tech readouts. Yes, it's been updated over the years. Some of the stuff has been moved around. They've put out new technical readouts to replace it, such as the Ill Clan recognition guides or the technical readout Clan Invasion. Yeah, they kind of mix things up a little bit. I get that, but for me, 3050 is always a classic. So I hope you enjoyed that kind of flashback, that look back at some of these early designs, the early art that we saw. And just hopefully it spawned some good memories or inspired you to go make some of your own. So let me know down in the comments, which is your favorite mech, which was your first technical readout, which is the one that you remember most. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your time. And don't forget, links down below for everything. And we'll talk to you next time.